I'm fumbling around here with a little technology. Anyway, you don't need to know that. Let's look at an email now from Sharon. This is on DRIPs, dividend reinvestment plans. I'm just wondering why DRIPs are not promoted very often. Some companies offer up to 5% on the new shares purchased through the DRIP. Is there a situation when a DRIP is not a good option?
Sharon, I suspect that you might be a reader of Canadian Money Saver magazine, because I know that Dale Ennis has been a huge proponent of DRIPs for some time. I don't know why they're not more promoted. I think they're perfectly good. If you're asking me to speculate as to why they're not promoted more often, some people like myself sometimes would prefer to have the money show up as cash so that you can then buy the asset class that's currently low. So when you're buying low and selling high, if you've got 6 different asset classes and they're all paying off a small little bit of a distribution, then once in a while when enough cash builds up and one of the asset classes are low, you can use that money to buy low as opposed to buying an equal amount of each of the 6 asset classes. So I'm speculating, but I think that's the one reason why why some people might not prefer DRIPs. But all else being equal, I think they're fine, and I would encourage you to use them.
Another email now from Stephen in Orillia, Ontario. He's looking for a good ETF for a TFSA. You were just talking about this in a different way. I'd like to help my college-age children start their TFSAs. Could you recommend a few ETFs for growth and income or alternatives to provide a good base to build on for a long-term strategy?
Stephen, further to my points earlier off the top of the show, I'm a big believer in emerging markets. This is going to be very volatile. Emerging markets are probably more volatile than the markets in Canada or the U.S. or the rest of the developed world, but they seem to be growing more as well. And that's a part of the world that by market capitalization continues to grow as well. So I wouldn't worry about income for people that are very young and are going to be going many, many years before they touch the money. So I'd be looking for growth. And any of the emerging market ETFs would be fine. So CBQ, which is from Claymore, XEM, which is from iShares, and ZEM from Bank of Montreal, all of which are slightly different, but all broadly similar in that they are emerging market ETFs that will give you growth, mind you, with a great deal of volatility, but nonetheless should provide strong growth for by the time your child or children need it. Should be fine.
All right, let's get to a call now from Steve, who's in Paradise, Newfoundland, I believe it is. Hi, Steve.
Hi, how are you?
Very well. How are you?
Good, good. I'm a long-time watcher. I've been watching since the beginning, and it's the best show on television.
Oh, good for you. Thank you.
It's my first time calling, and I'm calling because I haven't yet invested in ETFs, so I'm looking for a couple for my TFSA for a long-term hold. I'm currently looking at the BMO cover call, BMO equally weighted REIT, and equally weighted utilities. Now, with regards to the equally weighted REIT and
Oh, boy.
That's too bad.
So we lost Stephen.
He's been watching the show for 11 years. He finally gets in, and I don't think that's happened before anyway.
But I think I've probably heard enough from Steve. By the way, I've been to Paradise, Newfoundland, and it is beautiful. So what I would say is that all of those would be good. Certainly we've talked about the covered calls already for the bank from Bank of Montreal. Bank of Montreal seems to be carving out a bit of a niche in the equal weight sort of category strategy, which as a risk management sort of idea is probably not too bad, and utilities and real estate investment trusts are stable ways of plodding along and getting income. They're not going to be growing as much as the things that I talked about earlier from the emerging markets in all likelihood. And with real estate investment trusts, be mindful of the fact that there are some people who think that we might see real estate take a bit of a downturn when we have rate hikes, and it's when, not if, in Canada. But at any rate, I would expect these should do fine, and having the money reinvested and getting the distributions paid out should be fine. You should have some good growth in all of them.
Okay, we're going to take a short break here. We're going to come back, John, and take a look at your past picks. We've got 3 ETFs that you selected June 1st of last year, 2 of which you are no longer holding, and we'll find out what those are and what you think about them now right after this.